This one here is from Kobe from Dome. Says this is all stats for a midfielder. Just check the assist and goal contribution. What is he out saying? He should bring the stats for Gerrard. We are talking about stats. We are talking about why and who they had to deal with. KDB's goal contributions is 280 matches in 188. I think that's what I don't know if it's goal contributions. I think that's what I'm saying.
You see, you've always known me for saying that I look beyond statistics. Look, Lukaku has 400 career goals. That's more goals than Ronaldo and Maradona combined. Are you saying Lukaku is better than Ronaldo?
I think you've made your point.
Charlie, we should.
I think you've made your point.
Watch the game, so for real.
I think you've made
and someone is coming at me for saying that Gerrard didn't play with great players, and he started mentioning Anarisa, Kewell, Jibril Cisse, Milan Barrios, Fowler, Zenden, Babel, the Kite. The only two players that he played with that are excellent players, but he didn't play with them for long though. Mascherano and Xabi Alonso. Aside Luis Suarez and Fernando Torres.
But you see, this list is even brought is making Yao's point.
He's even giving credence to Yao's point. Anyway, this one here says
that, I want to say something about the stats thing for KDB, even Lukaku.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying Lukaku is an all-time striker, but actually 400 goals is no small.
You know the funny thing?
Let's respect him small.
I feel Lukaku went and destroyed his career at the place where careers go to die. That place, the Red Pit. That's the place. That's the place he went to destroy his career. Lukaku as a youngster,
Chelsea.
He was
returning to Chelsea. That was where he killed his career. That was where he killed his career because he won the league with Inter Milan. He won back to Chelsea. He bossed that league. I think then he moved to Chelsea.
Yeah.
But after
that Inter, he was never the same again. But the Lukaku disrespect started at United.
When they were putting Timberlands on him, and
when he was, people were saying because of the first tattoo. People were saying
even coach brought up the size of his boots and stuff.
People were saying
I didn't talk about Lukaku. That was Magua. No, but that's what I'm saying. But let's be fair. Actually, 400 goals now. The guy has like 80 goals for Belgium and things.
For me,
like let's respect him small. I'm not going to say that he's a top player, but let's respect him.
A top striker. If you have 400 goals, nobody can tell you anything. I'm telling you, if you retire with 400 career goals, nobody can chat anything.
And
nobody.
But the stats thing, Charlie KDB second in assists. The only person who has more is Ryan Giggs.
I say there's no
Ryan
way
Giggs
Gerrard
played how many?
I say Gerrard is not a better midfielder than KDB.
With more games.
Ryan
So
Giggs
with more games.
Look, people like to be sentimental. I'm a Liverpool fan at heart. Gerrard is not a better player than KDB. As far as Premier League, it's not true. Don't do this to yourself. It's not true. Let's not do this. Anyway, this one says the notion that Gerrard played in a bad team sometimes is funny. Check the Liverpool squad between 04 and 07. Their midfield compared to that of Chelsea and United weren't that huge. He simply didn't lead his team to glory like Lampard did at Chelsea.
Their teams were
top class midfielders were signed in that team also. He still bossed that team. Gerrard at some point had Alonso and Mascherano beside him. Had Torres and the Kite. The Kite, no Nadia, don't bring him. What was he better than Lampard? Saturn from Sakatu from Luton. Okay. This one here says that good evening Citi FM. I'm John from Madagascar. Rankings in midfield: Gerrard, Lampard, Kante, KDB. My honest opinion. Charlie Kante has appeared in the discussion.
He didn't last long. Yeah, that's why Yaya Toure is not in that list.
True.
Because he didn't last long at the elite.
Easily would have been in the mix.
Yeah.
Kante 3 or 4 more seasons would have been arguably in the conversation.
If we don't sit with the argument properly,
good,
we'll be so unfair to some of these players. What N'Golo Kante did,
he didn't do it long enough.
I'm coming. If it's about how long, it's a different argument.
Okay.
If we are talking about how effective and efficient the player was doing his
job, then we should say in their prime.
Yeah, of course. Then clearly, you cannot be comparing KDB to N'Golo Kante to KDB. Now, if you want to do the comparison, look, in my view, the best box-to-box midfielder I have ever seen in the EPL is Yaya Toure.
Easily, I agree.
Nobody.
I agree.
So if we don't sit with that, you say I've kept quiet on the matter.
I feel like
I'm thinking through my nose.
I also want to say something about this argument. There's 2 ways people argue this, and this is where the discussion comes in. You can argue about when you say best. Like let me give a good example of Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo's last 3 seasons in the PL is probably the best 3 years anyone has played in the PL. Right? That one there's no argument about it. But if you are saying you are ranking someone in
the first time around,
yes, the first time,
that his those 3 years, his first
when he ended up winning the Ballon d'Or.
Thank you for clarifying. So let me say 2006 to 2009. That 3 year spell is probably the best 3 year spell anyone has played in the PL, right? But are we going to say that 3 year spell out is worth more than Ryan Giggs' 20-year career or whatever? Right? So I feel like sometimes when we have these arguments, some people in their head, because that 3 year spell is the best they've seen, they'll put Ronaldo first. But some people, the way they see it,
they rank the whole career.
They are looking at the whole career. So I feel like a lot of the time, that's why these discussions are like, people are bringing some people, and that's why the discussion never, because I think we should clarify what are we actually measuring. Are we measuring the career like
or prime
or the prime? We need to actually clarify what we are measuring.
I think we can do away with the career and the prime
and talk about
the
footballer
in the role, the footballer.
I can see that too.
That is the way I would have argued it.
But then
because I don't think this Premier League has ever seen a better winger than Cristiano Ronaldo, in my view.
Okay. Even though others have better numbers
and played for longer.
That's it. That's
but you see,
the best box to box.
So that is why I say that, when it comes to it, let everybody argue it the way they see it.
But you see, I think people should clarify what they are arguing so that they can.
DM, I'll be looking at Joaquin, Vieira, Kante, and then Makelele. How do you rate them? Who comes first?
Fair. This is a very
now we have to add Rodri.
Yeah,
you definitely have to add Rodri.
Yeah. You add Rodri to it. Now then you are arguing.
I
can't agree that when people are arguing, they should mention that this is the criteria I'm using when they start.
We
can argue that, because if I come and say that Ryan Giggs is the best winger in the Premier League, and you come and say Cristiano Ronaldo, we are not arguing the same thing.
Fair.
Because there's no way that
I get
one-on-one as players. You take Ryan Giggs, but
consistency is
let me bring your career. You take Ryan Giggs.
Let me consistency is also a factor that you have to consider when you are measuring the grades, because you cannot have like you cannot have like
Giggs. You argue Giggs because Ronaldo left and went elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but now if you not got of the two guys, who is the better?
But you see, that's the point I'm arguing, that when we have, but when you say we're having a PL discussion, who's the best in the PL? That's exactly what I'm saying. That if you are going
prime
to
or career,
that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to relax.
I'm making the point of consistency. Consistency is key, because you cannot have a flash in the pan kind of season or campaign, 2 seasons and you vanish, and because your 2 seasons were so great, then we consider you as the greatest.
Let me read. Let's listen to our viewers. A lot of them are sharing their thoughts. Let's listen to them. So this one says, I don't think De Bruyne is the second all-time in the PL. Neither Gerrard being first. I'll put De Bruyne among the top 5, below Lampard, Scholes, Gerrard, and Toure. Bright from East Legon. There you have Yaya Toure. Yao Chris says, good evening, guys. I just didn't understand United on the match against Nottingham Forest too. Ejaya from North K says, Man United and Chelsea have nothing or little to show this season. They should just relax. Zoe from Boucher says, Lampard is the only player with 20 plus goals every season. Yaya Toure, De Bruyne, Essien, Stevie G. So this guy has Lampard number 1, Yaya Toure number 2, De Bruyne, Essien, and Steven Gerrard. Interesting. This one says, hi Ben. Yao has always been a Man City fan. His bias for them shows all the time. Yao is a United fan. He said, I won't even put KDB in my top 5. The greatest is between Lamps and Yaya. Finish. This one here says that greatest EPL midfielders: Scholes, De Bruyne, Lampard, Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira. This is the most efficient list with proper facts. Tyrese from Ashoma. I saw say Tyrese they talk this. This one says Man City has found its momentum after those bad days. City 4, United 1. Raymond Dakota Tema Comty 4. Raymond again from Spaintech says that Lampard, Gerrard, De Bruyne, and Kante. Okay. This one says, good evening, Ben and crew. I rank De Bruyne ahead of Gerrard as the greatest midfielder in the PL because Gerrard never won the Premier League. That's one from John Tay. Massa, Gerrard is not better than Roy Keane. Seto inside.
Hey, the Seth there is crazy.
Charlie,
cool down.
It's not better. Charlie also.
That's no Roy Keane.
This one says, okay, I think I've read this one already. This one says, hi Ben, I'm enjoying the show. Just remind coach that I think I've read this already as well. So this debate has really sparked a lot of interest. Anyway, let me just round it up with the fixtures and then we'll talk about something else. If more messages coming, I'll read those before we send the show home. So this one here says there's a game between Palace and Brighton. Let me just take predictions on these ones. Let me start for you.
Palace Brighton?
Yeah, Palace are home in this one.
Big W.
Huge.
A goal scoring draw.
Goal scoring draw.
Yeah.
Investors are attentive. Anyway,
I'm backing my boys, the Eagles. The Eagles.
They are home. Selhurst Park. Yeah.
Nketiah has come to show them.
Oh yes, your defense is in trouble. Anyway, Ipswich Wolves.
We're in table match this. Ipswich Wolves.
It's a relegation battle. It's a very serious game.
Ipswich Wolves.
Who's going?
No, Ipswich win.
Ipswich win.
Yeah. Ipswich Wolves, Ipswich win.
Yeah.
They getting
at home, Portsmouth Road.
They getting that away win against Bournemouth. The confidence will be sky high. I'm going for Ipswich win.
Actually, so Wolves are 17th, Ipswich are 18th.
Yeah.
So it's Wolves. Ipswich need this win.
Yeah, Ipswich win.
They need
Ipswich
this win. Anyway, Susu do West Ham, AFC Bournemouth. West Ham at home.
Ghana derby.
Hey, Charlie, Bournemouth need to wake up.
Yeah, they have been in a slump in like last 2-3 games.
Look, do you know they've not won a Premier League game since February 15th?
Hey.
It's serious.
Like around Val's Day time.
Charlie, the love is gone. Charlie,
Bring back the love.
Bring back the love, Charlie. So they need to wake up. They need to wake up.
They are away though.
Oh,
but West Ham are poor.
Yeah, West Ham are not good. But you see, the Premier League is weird because there's a lot of teams, and this stage of the season, so you're not relegated. You're not going for Europe. So like, you're sleepwalking.
Yeah.
So I think because West Ham are a bit of a sleepwalking mood, maybe that will help Bournemouth to
win. Coach, prediction on Brentford Chelsea.
Brentford for the win.
Brentford is at home.
Yeah.
Look, Chelsea themselves, they've got some decent away performances. Brentford of late.
In fact, their best performances this season have been away.
Brentford of late have not been that solid.
True.
Look, I think Chelsea will nick it.
Chelsea to win. Yeah. Narrow win. Susu, I'm coming back this way. Do Fulham Liverpool.
Fulham,
Craven Cottage.
Yeah, I'll say Liverpool.
You sound like it's a close win.
I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Liverpool at all. No.
At all.
I think Fulham gave them a lot of trouble the last time, and Fulham are a very decent team.
They're always up for big games. Spurs, Southampton.
Spurs for the win.
Manchester Derby.
Southampton, you have to lose big games there.
Manchester Derby.
United to win. Yeah, United to win.
And then I'll come back to
Man City. For Manchester Derby?
No, you've already said that. Leicester, Newcastle, that's Monday.
Oh, Newcastle win.
Newcastle to win. Okay.
Alexander Isak.
I have a friend who told me that some investors watch and then they are listening to us and they
do their own thing.
Please.
Let me read a few.
At your own risk.
Let me read more of this midfield rankings from the YouTube. A lot of debate over there. So this one here says Zenica J says Coach Nimley has gone my way. I think he means that we should. I think what he agrees with the fact that you should separate the midfielders into different brackets. This one says up next says undiluted list: KDB, Lampard, Yaya, Scholes, Gerrard. Not a bad list at all, honestly. I can rock with this list, to be honest. But Gerrard over Scholes, definitely. I'm not taking Scholes over Gerrard. I'm not letting that happen. Anyway, Kwame Ohene Asari says Gerrard was either slipping or missing penalties. Joseph Aban says, I agree with what Coach just said. Yaya Toure is the best box-to-box midfielder to ever exist. This one here is from Benjamin Dakwa. Says Kante won the league with drink water by him, Yao.
What?
He says N'Golo Kante won the league with drink water.
But that season it was Drinkwater was in the form of his life. Jamie Vardy was in the form of his life. And on top of that, it was an outlier. Have we ever seen such a thing happen again?
So why can't Liverpool do an outlier?
Charlie, somebody called Catch These Hands says Massa, forget Essien. Charlie, why are you doing that?
Charlie, how's our national pride?
I shock.
And that's where my point comes in about the consistency, because Essien didn't do it for long because of his injuries.
Ebenezer Mankwa says if Bruno was in this Man City team, we could have delivered much more goal contributions than KDB. These are facts. He says if Fernandes played in City, he would have delivered more goal contributions.
True. I don't think so.
100%. I agree with him.
I agree because you know why? Not because he's a better footballer. He's a better goal scorer than De Bruyne. And I think he plays more risky passes than De Bruyne. In fact, I actually saw
why he sits on the bench.
I actually saw a certain most chances since he actually arrived.
But he has. You see, I don't like that stat.
Why?
No, let me explain. Relax.
Let him explain.
Created chances is a pass leading to a shot.
Yeah.
Or a shot on target, whatever it is. If you say you've played the most since you arrived, right?
Mm-hmm.
That just means since you arrived, the number of games. This guy plays nearly every game. So if you say he's played the most, and you are comparing him to other people who may miss, like and the main person you are comparing to is De Bruyne, who we know his fitness is not the same.
Fair. I think both of you. I think both of you can be right. Let me read more messages. Edmond Nana Flint says no one is talking about David Silva. See?
Oh no, David Silva.
I'm saying we should.
KDB has surpassed David Silva as Manchester City's greatest player.
That one is true.
We should situate the
argument. So attacking midfielders, central midfielders,
then you see,
defensive
midfielders. Silva was what? Attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, the latter stages of his career, he became like a number 8.
Like a register.
This one here says that okay, so more messages. Interesting.
It was bound to happen. This debate, it was bound to happen.
Bernard Siama says Kante won the EPL with Leicester. The players around him in that team were not better than any of the players than what Gerrard had, but he slipped when he was needed the most. Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard. Charlie Gerrard did this slip really worrying career.
I swear.
He really worrying career. This one, Emmanuel Amposa says, Coit the rebound master. He never sound. Nana, I'm a Liverpool fan. The Kite, he was average at best. Don't even let us.
You see, he was just those guys. He worked hard, but that you see, and I'll be honest, when they say you work hard, it's a backhanded compliment.
I'm telling you.
Because
work
the least you can do as a footballer is work hard.
Yeah,
it's a
like we pay you
compliment.
plenty money, like you won't run, you won't tackle. Go out there and go and tackle. Anyway, George Adama says that Gerrard single-handedly kept Liverpool competitive, Ben, and no wonder he had more appearances in FIF Pro 11 than those things. I mean, I don't rate those things. Those World 11 and I don't do anything.
Hey, boss be that.
I don't do anything.
Boss be that. Boss be that.
I know where you're heading with this.
I'm not come say anything.
Leave. Yeah, the heading. I know the people. Like,
oh no, I wasn't even come say anything. I was say, oh why?
I know why.
I wasn't even going to go there. My mind was even.
Once you don't go there, it's fine.
But now that you've activated me,
don't do that. It's fine.